Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of How to Reach 2000. We get the black pieces and white plays e4. Let's play e5. This is what I used to play. The King's Gambit. I don't really know much theory, but I do know that I either have to strike in the center or I should just try to hang on to this pawn. And I think I'm going to go for the approach which hangs on to the pawn. I'm going to play g5, just defend this pawn, h6 as well, just keeping this chain nice and solid. Bishop to g7, developing the bishop. I have ideas to play knight f6, putting pressure on this pawn. I kinda like this, but then they might have e5. I don't think that's a great idea. Let's play this in like a King's Indian type of position, Let's try to play d6, fighting for that square. The knight cannot go there, and pushing is also a bit harder. I have to figure out how to develop all my pieces. I feel like knight to c6 is a pretty common idea. If they play d5, I'm not scared, I can just go to the e5 square. And if they trade, then I can get my bishop into the central square, and no pawns can kick away my bishop from the e5 square. So let's go here. Castle's long. I should probably move my bishop to d7. My bishop doesn't really have many squares. If I go to e6, then I would get hit with a fork. I'm not sure what a3 does. It's also not a bad move, I just don't see the reason why they should play it. I do like knight to f6 now. It prevents ideas like this, but also I don't know. If I play a move like queen here, then they could try to play knight to d5, putting pressure on the pawn and also the queen. If I play this, then it's going to be hard for me to move this queen away from the home square and try to castle long. I do want to castle long because there's less of an attack. If I castle short, then they could try to play h4 and stuff. It's kind of unpleasant. I think what I'm gonna do is just try to develop my knights. Maybe like this. I don't want to play knight to f6 because that might come in the way. And d5 is not a scary move. The reason why d5 is really bad is because the knight no longer has a square on d5. And the knight going to d5 is actually very scary for the black position. They're just relieving a lot of pressure, and also my knight can be here on the square. If they decide to trade, then my bishop can be here for basically the whole game. This is a pretty nice position. Well, that's not that scary. I can just play a6, getting tempo on the knight. So after the knight moves back, I'm just going to move this knight somewhere. I think I'll move it here. If they decide to play knight to f5, I'll probably just take. Or even play a move like queen to f6. Queen to f6 looks really interesting right now. Creating this pressure. I think I'm gonna play queen to f6. This knight doesn't really have much forward motion, and I'm just gonna castle long if I get the chance. This knight is kinda not doing much, but it's okay. Let's castle long. I don't see any threats. King b8 as an idea. Just tucking the king away on a safer square. There is some pressure though, like this bishop is kind of annoying, it's pointing towards the a6 pawn, and I think they should try to push some pawns and try to attack me. I think that's the only way they can do something. If they do nothing, then I can just eventually push these pawns and I will just be completely winning. Okay, let's look at this. After bishop takes knight in. I don't love that because I'm leaving them with the bishop pair. What if I just move my king? Cannot be that bad, right? Just closer to my pawns. If they try to play this, then I can even play this. Their idea is to try this. What I could do here is something like this. Defending everything. Looks very scary, but it should work. I'm just hesitating a little bit because that is pretty scary. If they ever move this knight, I'm just gonna take this bishop. I have to speed up. Queen back. Do they have any threats? Except for taking the pawn? I don't think so. So I'm gonna defend the pawn. My king is kinda looking vulnerable right now. Are you sure this works? Is he trying to get a perpetual going? Don't I just have this? I mean, it looks really sketchy, but I think I'm getting enough trades that the attack doesn't really matter. And if I don't play this, then they can try to take, and they have this battery towards a6, so I think b5 is pretty much the only move. If I don't play b5, then I lose. Okay, now I think I'll take this bishop, attacking their queen. I should try to look for ways to survive this attack, and be careful. I think playing rook b8 is logical. Can try to go here, defend everything. Very scary position. Should I be scared? I think this is good. Do they really want to sack? What if I add an extra layer of reinforcement? So that if they take with a bishop, I can take, and if rook takes, I take with rook. Yep. Oh, I can't even do that. Or can I? Very weird position. What if I just move my king? I'm gonna do that. Well, my rook kind of looks weird. I would love to open up my queen. Does that really work? What if I take with a pawn? Take with a rook. They're attacking my rook. And if I take, then they could try to get this rook. Can they even do that? I don't know. This is very scary. What if I go right back? Yeah, I kind of underestimated this move. Should try to get some pieces towards this king. If I take, then rook takes. Oh, but I can try queen to d8, right? And if rook takes this, is that okay? Surely that is, right? Wait a second. So after takes this, here, do they have queen to a6? This is crazy stuff. I'm not gonna take. I'm gonna play this. Did I just blunder? Did I just blunder this? What a game. I'm gonna go here next. This is very scary. Oh, they don't see it. That's nice. Let's go here. Idea is to play this. Also this. It's a clearance sacrifice. I want to play queen to f4. But if I play f3, then they have this. What a position. Such a pain. I'll play this. Just blocking any of this, and also the rook getting active. I'm gonna play this next. It's like a clearance sacrifice. I want to try and get some checks. I think I'm breaking through on the king side. I think I've neutralized all of the attacks. Hopefully. Are they gonna find this? Does that even work? Okay, my idea is this check. That looks very scary for them. Check. If they go king here, I can take. That looks completely winning, because I have this check. Yeah, that was a pretty close game. I've also noticed that this would have trapped the queen, and I've missed it for the last few moves. Check. This is the only move. This is almost game over. Is that good? No, I don't think so. What if I just take the bishop? Oh, if I take the bishop, then I'm kinda getting destroyed. Let's play this check. Oh, I've just realized that after I go here, there's not an actual threat, but it looks very scary and I don't want to hang anything. Bishop blocks is the only move. And now I can play this check, which is a fork. That cannot be bad. This is called a pork because there's a pin and a fork. Makes sense there. Let's go here. Where does this bishop go? What a position. Wow. Oh, he played a king check. I could have taken the bishop. Why did I move my king? Let's have a look at the game review. There were 2 big spikes in the graph, and I blundered twice. I don't know, it's the King's Gambit. Some crazy stuff. I played at 77.1 accuracy and my opponent played at 61.4 accuracy. Yeah, d5 was a bad move, because I can get a knight to the e5 square, or at least a bishop to the e5 square. Yeah. Kick the knight away, develop my knight, bring my queen, castle. My king is definitely under some pressure, so as you can see the position is equal. I am up a pawn, but white does have some compensation because their pieces are better placed for an attack towards my king. Anyways, they make a mistake. I don't really know why that's a big mistake. They decide to sacrifice a piece. I took with a bishop because if I take with a pawn, I'm gonna get mated. Because there's queen takes a6. So after this, b5 is the only move, like I talked about it in the game. Now I try to go for this trade. The engine doesn't love it, but for a human, I think trading is pretty intuitive. You know, you're creating triple pawns, and also you don't have to worry about checkmate with that dark squared bishop. Bring the rook so that I defend. Yeah, that was rough. I should have probably played rook to b8. Yeah, this is probably the best. Oh, knight there? Okay, whatever. Let's go back. I played king to b8, and they go for this. Now I'm actually pretty scared and I was spooked, so I didn't want to take. Because after this, I calculated this line. So if I take, then after queen takes, and after I move my king here, there's this check. After my king moves away, they have this check on the back rank. After my king goes here, they can take this. If my king goes up, my king looks really weak. But yeah, there's no solid threat. Here I thought I had this move, but I actually noticed that there's this move queen to a6. Queen to a6 is such a crazy move. You know, I cannot take. Apparently this is equal, but I did see queen to a6. The idea is I cannot take. I mean, if I take, there's this check, and after the king moves somewhere, this is mate. Therefore, I cannot take the rook, and if I do nothing, then they're gonna trade rooks and then try to mate me. If I play this, this also looks kind of scary. There's this rook check. After this, I don't know what my king is gonna do. After king to d2, they're gonna kill me, so I did not like this at all. And I played king to a7, but according to the engine, this is actually mate in 7. I did not see this, but later in the game I noticed that bishop takes a6 was possible. After bishop takes a6, there's rook takes a6, and then there's queen takes c7, and it's very scary for me. But they did not see that, and I'm back to winning. I have an advantage. I played this move, and they have the same idea again. They don't go for that, and I go back to winning again. I went for this clearance sacrifice idea. I'm trying to get my queen in there. Apparently it's mate in 7, but I don't know. Well, I'm playing the good moves. There's mate in 3 here. I definitely did not find that. In this position it's mate in 1 with queen to f4, but I did not see this in the game, and I went for this check, which wins the queen, so I did that. The engine doesn't love it because it sees mate, and I did not see that. I'm kind of panicking as well because I don't have much time. I go for this trade, and now they go for this, attack the bishop. They have a king move that can result in a check because of discover check, but it was really weird because I did not notice that this bishop could be taken. I moved my king. This is me when I'm panicking. Anyways, this was mate in 1. They move the king, I take the bishop, and I take the pawn. This is checkmate. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.